And we know you're all here because you're either on or manage a virtual team. And that means that I know all of you, just like we are in our world, are dependent on people that aren't co-located with us to get things done. And what that means is that we have some expectations that either get met or don't get met in our communications. So think about this. If you need some information, your boss contacts you for information in the morning during a meeting, you send that request on to a colleague, you probably expect to get a response in a day. But of course, we're sending that message in the daytime in the U.S., but it's ending up at another time zone with our colleague. Compound that with, let's say that colleague has to send it on to Asia-Pac, and then that person communicates back to their boss that things are coming late. And you can start to see, as all of these lines start to get built in terms of communication, it gets pretty complicated out there. And this complication of time zones, communication lags, can have some impacts on the team. So we've got a question for all of you. When you think about the world you live in and the world we just described that's incredibly complicated, you know, what are some of the negative impacts for a team when you're communicating over a distance? And Justin, let's bring up that first poll because we'd like to get feedback from everyone on this subject. So you're going to see on this poll there's multiple choices here. You can select as many as you want. We just want to get some feeling for what do you think the impacts are? Great, so we're looking forward to seeing those results.
And here we go, and the results are...
Oh, look at this.
Wow.
Yeah, no surprise. Mr. Unclear Expectation, delays in project deliverables. Boy, that could be confusion. Absolutely. And then I'm seeing trust and willingness. I don't think these are big surprises, Vernon.
Well, they all look bad to me.
Exactly. And you're right. These things have a huge impact. And unfortunately, they happen every day. You have some loss of faith in who you're working with. And as most of you said, you end up with delays in decision making. And these have huge negative consequences for the team.
And what ultimately, Laura, and welcome everyone, when we look at this, when Laura says loss of faith, and then it flows down to that decision making, but the bottom line that we don't want it to flow down to is the reduced productivity and cohesion on the team, because that is one of the most critical things that needs to happen. When we think about that, and what this really means to all of us is that when we really focus on it, it means that we're going to need, as individuals, to get a lot better at communicating and managing teams over a distance. If you take a look at this slide, a 2012 Gartner study said that, now get this, by 2015, 75% of knowledge work will be done and completed by virtual teams. And before the call, Laura and I were thinking about that, and we were talking about it a little bit. And we said that this is what we're seeing, and it's having a real big effect on workers. Right, Laura?
Absolutely. And there's some great information that we've gotten about how those effects have to be addressed. I mean, think about it. Your boss, your organization is going to be looking for people that can build, manage, and work on teams that collaborate efficiently over distances.